So one day, a friend of mine just called me and she said, Stella, I just got a house. And that's how it all started. Hi guys, welcome to the Express channel. So I have a good news for you all today. We just bought our first house in the UK. Like, I'm so happy. The journey has not been easy, and when I say we, I mean I and my husband. It's been like a year journey, and we've had our hurdles and we've had the good things about it. And so today I want to share how we went about the process. I want to tell you the story, and so that if you are thinking about buying a house now, or let's say you're an immigrant, or you're planning to come to the UK or to any country abroad anyway, and you have the interest of owning your own home. Everybody likes to own their home, right? Yeah, that's true. So if you have the intent of owning your own home when you come to the UK or when you move abroad, I think you should watch this video to the end, because I'm going to discuss my process and I'm going to tell you what I encountered. And if you are already in the UK and you want to start the process, or you are thinking about it, then this video is for you as well. So how did it all start? It all started last year, 2022, when a friend of mine, she just called me in the morning. Stella, I just bought my own house. I was like, wow, really? Tell me about it. Tell me something. Actually, I and my friend, we've always been talking about businesses. What can we do in the UK? Okay, how do we use our money? And then she kept telling me, Stella, I have this project I'm working on. I'm going to tell you about it. I was like, okay, tell me. She's like, don't worry, I'll tell you. And then she just called me, Stella, I just bought my house. I was like, okay, I think you're telling me, Stella, it's time to be serious. So I was like, okay. Yeah, tell me, let's do this. So anyway, that's how it all started. So she started telling me that she used a government scheme. And then there was this government scheme that's called Help to Buy. If you're in the UK, you probably know about the Help to Buy, whereby the government gives you 20%, and then the people giving you the mortgage gives you the other percent, and why you just have to bring 5%. So all together, the government brings 20%, you bring 5%, that's 25%. Why the people giving you the mortgage brings 75%. So that was what she used for her own process. And because she used the government scheme Help to Buy, she only deposited about 12,000. Like, you won't believe it. Some people will be like, wow, so that means everyone can be able to get their own house. Yeah, it depends on the price of the house though too. But if your house is about 100,000 or about 150,000 and you just put in 5%, you can even put as low as 9,000 or 10,000 or even 8,000 if you were using the government scheme then, and then you'll be able to get houses in the UK. So many people at that time, I was watching different YouTube videos, and you could see some people, they used it, while some people don't even know about it, while some knew about it. So I was like, okay, let's do a bit of research and see if we can use the whole process. So that was how we started. So we started googling about it. We learned so much about the Help to Buy process. I'm like, okay, now we know about the Help to Buy process, let's get started. So when we knew about the Help to Buy process, which means that you have to have, like, the government will give you 20% and you have 5%, and then the other people bring the 75%. Then the next thing was to go and get a mortgage, or probably to go and get the house itself. Now, for you to get a mortgage, it also depends on the number of years you have been in the UK. So if you have been in the UK for more than 3 years, because the UK people, they would like to see that you've been in the UK for about 3 years to have 3 years history. So if you've been in the UK for 3 years, the kind of rate they will give you is actually different from if you have been in the UK for lesser than 3 years, because then they will feel like if you've been in the UK for 3 years, they can be able to trust you more than if you've been in the UK for lesser than 3 years. So by the time we went about applying for our mortgage, going to different banks, we went to Halifax, we went to Santander, we went to what's the name of the other one? NatWest, the popular ones that immigrants normally use. So we went there, and then they will be like, okay, you have been in the UK for a year, but your husband has not been in the UK for up to a year, so we'll not be able to give you guys a huge amount of money. Let's say if you're going for a house of 200,000, they won't be able to give you. You need to bring they will give you maybe about, they're supposed to give you about 180,000 or so to make it up for the government to give you 20%, and you bring 5%. So they were like, no, we cannot give you that much because you've been in the UK for more and then your husband been in the UK for less, so we can't give you that much. We only will give you a mortgage for you alone. They won't give me for my husband. That was what they said. So because of it, I decided to wait a bit during that period and kept on saving. So I kept on saving for about 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, and then so we kept on saving our money because they refused to give, because we haven't been in the UK for quite a while. So let's say fast forward into June last year, we started actively looking out on the website, started searching and also asking different agencies. So luckily for us, we got some people now respond like, okay, yes, we can give you a mortgage, but if we are giving you a mortgage, you can use the help to buy and every other thing. So that was just how it started. When my husband was close to a year in the UK, we started our search again, started searching about houses, checking the price of houses. I forgot to mention, you also need to check the price of houses where you intend to live in. So let's say wherever you intend to live in, you're supposed to be checking, okay, what are the prices of houses there? Is it 200,000? If it's 200,000, then you check what is 20%, what is 5% of 200,000, and then you'll be applying to the bank to know that if the bank is giving you this amount of money, is it going to be enough to make up that 20%, or will you need to bring more contributions? So because it was almost a year, they were able to give us more. So we're thinking at that stage we've sorted it out, we'll be able to get a mortgage then from a private mortgage lender. So we thought everything was sorted, so we decided to search for house. Now I forgot to mention that if you're using the government help to buy scheme, they can only give you what is called new homes. You can only use that for new build. You cannot use it for an old build house. So it has to be a new build house that you're using it for. So instead of searching online, there are different online websites, and this video, I think I'm going to be doing this video in series because there's so much to talk about and it cannot be said in one video. So there are so many new homes websites to check, and it also depends on where you are currently living. So for I that was living previously in the Northeast, we have Avant Homes. Avant Homes was one very good home agency. Avant was a very good new home development company. They were very, very good in terms of helping you, and then they made it very easy for you. So unfortunately for me, coming into the Northwest now, Avant was not operating there, and Avant was what my friend used. So I had to start searching for new companies that were offering new homes. Do you understand? So it kept on going like that, and then you have to go for viewing, you book appointments, going there, and it kept on happening for 1 month, 2 months. My God, the process is not for the weak. You need to be ready when you want to start. So you go to a home, you have to look at it. Do you like the style of the home that they did? Okay, what's the prospect of the home? Is it close to your working place? Is it close to school, especially for you that want to have children? Is it close to like bus station, especially if you don't drive? Is it close to the train station? So many questions you need to ask, and also you have to look at the price of that particular place. Is it also close to markets? Do you have to go a far distance to get to the market? So those were many questions we're asking ourselves whenever we had to go to these houses to check for. Finally, we were able to get one that we were interested in. When we were able to get the house that we were interested in, we got the shock of our life. The shock was that at the time the whole delay was going on, searching for a good house and everything, the government help to buy scheme was getting to an end. The government were closing their help to buy scheme. My God, it was so painful because it's because of how the whole process elongated. It was getting towards September, and normal, going on the gov.uk website, it says the government help to buy scheme was going to end in October last year, 2022. So we were eager to get on top of it, get into it in September. So by the time it was getting towards August ending, the house we were interested in, the company told us that although we have started the process, but because the government helped to buy scheme is going to end in October 2022, and before they finish building the house, because all these new homes, you go, what they do is they build like a show home. So after building a show home, you go there, you look at the show home and say, okay, I'm interested in this type. This is how I want my house to be built. They will tell you, okay, no problem. So because this is how you want your house to be built, we are going to build your house like that. So the house have not yet been built. When you go to look at the house, it's not built yet. They only give you a prototype of what you are intended to have. So before they will finish building that house, it was going to take like 6 to 8 months. And by the time it gets to that 6 to 8 months, the government help to buy scheme would have ended. They will not get the mortgage and everything. So it means it puts them at a risk and put us at a risk, because they've spent money in building that house for us, and we won't have the money to pay them because we don't have the money to support, since the government is not supporting us anymore. And that was so devastating, because we're like, okay, what do we have to do? Where do we start from? So we had to start all over again searching for a mortgage, because it means that we can't use the government help to buy. We tried more than 10 developing companies and they kept repeating the same thing. So we had no choice than to go back and start from the beginning all over again. The process was really hectic. We started again, we said applying for mortgage. Then we got an advice from somebody that told us, instead of you to go to the bank to apply for mortgage, it's going to be very difficult for you to get one. It's best for you to go for an individual mortgage advisor. It is because if you go for an independent mortgage advisor, you'll be able to, they have access to many private company, they have access to many public company, and you'll be able to get good mortgages that you'll be so shocked. So that was how we started searching for a good independent mortgage advisor to help us with the whole process. And just one fateful day, I was coming back from work so tired. I just said, let me search online, and I saw a house for sale. On that house for sale, I just called my husband. I said, guy, where are you? He was like, he's at home. I said, go and view this house. He went to view the house. After viewing the house, we liked the house so much. And that house, they had an independent mortgage advisor that they worked with. So that was how we got connected with that individual. We got an independent mortgage advisor that they worked with. So that was how they got us connected with that independent mortgage advisor. And that was the best thing ever that happened to us in this house journey. And we started with the guy. The guy came on, he helped us to sort for a mortgage. He got us 10%. We're like, are you sure of this mortgage? Like, is this real? I kept on asking people, is this really real? Like, you got us a mortgage of 10%. He said yes. I was like, how is that possible? When we applied by ourselves, they told us you have to get a mortgage of, you have to deposit 25%. You have to deposit 20%. In fact, the list was 20% that we have to deposit for any house that we are going for. And someone is just telling us that what we have to deposit is just 10%. Like, are you sure? The guy said yes. And the good thing about our independent mortgage advisor was, he was just acting like a father to us. Apart from the mortgage part which was paid, he was giving us advice, tips on what to go for, what to do, how to avoid trouble. Wow, he was just like an angel sent from above. And you can just call him today like, hello, I'm tense, I'm this, and he will pick up the call and he will answer you. And the funniest thing is that he's not just working alone, he's a company and he's in charge of the company, but he's down to earth to answer you. My God, some people are really angels. And so that was how we got this guy. We started the house process. So we saw the house was very beautiful, and we went on with the house. So after you've liked the house, what they would need you to do is to make a deposit. So some companies, especially if it's a new home, they want you to deposit like maybe £500, or they want you to deposit like £1,000, just to be sure that you are serious about it. So by the time you have deposited like £500 or £1,000, they'll say, okay, now that you are serious, we will allocate a plot to you. We'll allocate a plot of land to you. And so that was how we were allocated that plot of land. After then, the next thing they'll do your ID check to be sure of how your money comes in, how you're able to generate the amount of money. So that's why some people will be like, it's good to still stay with the NHS no matter what, because working full time in a company like NHS actually gives you advantage, because they tend to trust you more than when you are working part-time. Or even if two of you are not working in a full-time job, at least one person should be working in a full-time job, because it tends to help you a lot in terms of the ID check and also for them building trust in you. So they did our ID check and we were able to pass the ID check. Now, did I mention something about building your credit score? To be fair, they didn't really check our credit score, but some people said they checked. I'm not really sure. But all I can say is that they just asked, do you have a credit card? I said yes. And then they asked me another question, do you have any money you are owing your credit card? And I said no. And that was all they asked me during the whole process. Nobody asked me what is your credit score. Nobody asked me anything like that. No, we didn't have anything to do with all of that. So after then, we then went into the next stage, which is the solicitor. Now, it is your choice if you want to get a private solicitor or you want to use the company solicitor. At that point, we were very new with this house process, so we don't know anything about getting any private solicitor. How do we even know if this private solicitor is going to do the work well? So we just told the company that, do you have a solicitor? We will use yours. And one thing I've noticed about the UK is that a company might be into building, but it's not like they are also into solicitor. They have I don't know what they call it. It's called a partnership with a soliciting company. They have a partnership with a mortgage advisor company. So it's quite different. It's not like they are the one working. They just have a partnership. So they referred us to that company for the solicitor stuff, and then the solicitor accepted us and also did their own ID check, and then we were allocated an individual solicitor that will be working on our case. So what is the work of the solicitor? The work of the solicitor is to look at your document, look at the house, fill the paperwork, the legal work, and also go through the house. They will do something that is called house searches. They will search about the land. If there's a dispute on that land, they will search if there's a problem with the house that they are building. They will go around to ensure that you are not entering into a deep problem, which is very important. The solicitor is a key part in house purchase in the UK. So they will also ask you if you want to use their conveyancing team to be sure that they will be able to look at your property. And these ones, if there's even another one that they will do, that they will search if there's a problem with the drainage, there's a problem with leakage in the house. But because it's a new build house, they didn't need to check all that. They just need to be sure that there's no problem with the house. And so that was what the work of the solicitor did. So our solicitor went on doing her search, which took over a month. And while we were waiting for good news, that was when the second bad news happened. Yeah, I know, a lot of bad news. It's a long story. It was so funny. She got back to tell us that, okay, they've had a look at the house and there's a problem with the land. There's a dispute of that land that in the old 30 years ago, they normally pay money on that land. If you are in the UK, you know what is called a freehold house, and there's something that's called a leasehold house. A freehold house means that you are the owner of the land and you are the owner of the house. A leasehold house means you are the owner of the house, but the land in which the house is built on, you are not the owner of it. So every month you are paying a particular amount of money to the owner of the, or to the government if the government is the owner of the land. So she was not telling us that there is a particular amount of money that over 30 years ago they normally pay to the government, but of recent they don't pay it anymore. So she doesn't know if it will be an issue, as she has contacted the development team. The development team was like, oh, that will not be an issue, that the land is a freehold land, it will be an issue. But she was very skeptical and kept on telling us that she will advise us not to go ahead with the purchase. But we were so stubborn. We were like, no, we want to go with the purchase. We want to get our, that's first time, we want to get our house. No. And the funny thing is that the house was going to be ready in January. And also our mortgage, we were thinking about our mortgage. We got a new mortgage that was going to expire in February. So we needed to use the mortgage before it gets expired. So we wanted it to be in January, and so we wanted that house by all means. And then she was like, no, you can't use the house. I'll advise you. We insisted, and then she said, okay, we'll have to sign a report. Now within that period, she also said we'll have to also apply for an extension of a mortgage. So for those that don't know, if you are actually having a mortgage and it's going to expire, you haven't gotten a house, you can apply for an extension, especially if you have gotten a house that you want to buy and it hasn't gotten to that stage of paying the mortgage. You can apply for an extension. So during that period, we applied for an extension and we got an extension to August. Yes, it was so good. And you know why we got that extension? It was also because of our mortgage advisor. So it's always good to have a good mortgage advisor because they play a key role in everything. You won't they play a key role. And another thing is that during this period, everything was happening. The cost of living was going high. The mortgage rate was climbing to the mountain. And so we were able to get ours at even 3%. But at that time, when we needed to extend it, mortgage was about 4.5%, almost 5%. It wasn't funny. So we needed to extend that one so we can maintain it, because if we had lost it, we would have been getting our mortgage at a higher percent. So luckily for us, we were able to extend it. Now, I know I'm talking so much, but this is just something I want everyone to know about. I feel like just sharing my story. It was so funny. Anyway, we were able to extend the mortgage, and then we said we still want to keep on buying the house and everything. So because she wasn't comfortable with it, she went to report this to our mortgage lenders, who was Barclays. Now Barclays had a look at everything and said they were not giving us the mortgage for that particular house. Now during all this process, that was into January, and we were actually doing our wedding by then, and then we got the mortgage and Barclays refused to give the money for the house, so we lost the house. Yeah. Can you imagine, after the whole process of everything, how we went through the whole searching of the house, we lost the house. It's also painful, like we had to start all over again. At that point, when I traveled back home to Nigeria and I came back, I just told myself, maybe God does not want us to get this house. Maybe God is giving us a sign that we should just rest and focus on something else. But on another thought, I'm like, God cannot give us more than what we can handle. So He has a reason. There must be a reason why this house, we didn't get it. So that was how we're like, okay, that payment on that land might have caused a problem for us in the near future. So let us go back to start searching. So on that, we then decided that we are not going to go for a new build anymore, because going for another new build means that before they do any new build, it's going to extend onto December, and our mortgage have expired, and Barclays will not extend anything further than August. So we decided to go for an old build. We started the old build. We did marathon research. We went through different websites. I'm going to be talking about the websites in another video, but I'll just tell you the ones that we went through here. We went through Rightmoves, and we went through on the markets, and there are so many tips you have to know when you are searching for houses on this website. Because if not, if you're a newbie, because we have been searching for over a year, we got so experienced in it that we knew what we were looking for. We knew how to go through the filter and select and to remove any rubbish that was not needed. And so that was how we went through the house search. We checked the first one on a house that was built 2 years ago, and we said, this house is not for us. Very tiny space, horrible. Then we checked the second one. It was there when we checked the second house. We went to the second house and we saw just like, this is our dream house, and this is the house we are going to go for. And that was how we got in contact with the people doing the house. Now we were able to get the house, but the person we used to get the house was still through our independent mortgage advisor, still through the solicitor. We getting a solicitor for the process. We used the company solicitor because we still didn't have a better solicitor, because we felt that our previous solicitor, well, even if they were for our good, but the way they were communicating to us was too aggressive, and they even charged us big amount of money for nothing that they did. So we decided to change solicitor and use this company's solicitor, and that was how we went through the whole process to get this house. During the whole process, Barclays came up again and was like, this house you are going for is below the market value. The price you are going for is too high, above the current highest price of the house. You guys, the sellers needs to drop down the price because the value of houses have gone down. If not, we are not going to give you the complete money for the mortgage. So we have to go back to the seller to say you need to drop your price, because Barclays have said you need to drop your price. So obviously we won't go back to the price that the sellers won't drop to the price Barclays said they are going to drop the price to, but they have to come down a bit so that we won't be at a loss and they too won't be at a loss. So it was a bargaining system. So for those that don't know, you can actually bargain the price of your house. I just chip this in to tell you that even if on the market it says 200,000 or it says 250,000, you can bargain with the seller to bring the price down. It will not be may the best man win. That's how it is normally. So you can bargain to bring the price of the house down. So after bargaining to bring the price of the house down, because it didn't get to the price Barclays wanted, they said they will only give us the percent of the mortgage of the house that they feel the price of the house is worth. But luckily for us, we've been saving for over a year, so we've had enough money in stock. We told Barclays, we are ready for you this time. We must get this house and this house, because the house has so much potential. So we decided to go for the house, and then I have not regretted it any day. We did not regret any decision. Even if it happens all over again, we will still do the same thing again. So we're able to go through the solicitor searches again, we're able to go through the conveyancer searching, we're able to go through the ID check. Now, one beautiful thing I want to mention about the UK is that I feel like every developing country has this thing of ensuring that where you got the money and where you any source of income to your account is accountable for. They want to know, okay, I can see a huge amount of money coming to your account. How did it get into your account? Now, this makes life good and makes everyone is looking out for everybody, and I think it's a good attribute in which people in the developing world can take in to ensure that everyone is ensuring that security is done, there's no fraud in anything. And I think if life would be a better place if people really take or adopt that culture. So they have to go through all our ID checks all over again and everything. So at the end of the day, we're going to the check, they do the searches. It was successful and we finally got our key. Yeah, I know. Thank you. Congratulations. Yeah, I know. Thank you. It's so good. We finally got our key and we were able to do a bit of renovation. We didn't really do much because the house we just painted, so that should not count like a renovation. We just painted, but the house was already in perfect state before we even came in. So that was how we came about the house. There's still so much to talk about anyway in the house process, like where to get websites, how we're able to save the money and every other thing, but that will be done in another video. But for today, I'm just giving you an overview and sharing my good news with you. So those that would like to get a house, don't give up. You can always ask any questions in the comment section on anything that probably in the process and you are confused on something. You can just ask the question in the comment section and I will add my own quota of understanding to it. Or if you want to start or you want a recommendation, you can always put in the comment section, and then I will also put my own contribution and how we can help you with the process. Now, thank you for watching the video. Don't forget we'll be doing another series to ensure you guys are properly guided, because I feel like this whole house process is a whole lot. Some people like it's, if you are not someone that has a friend that has done it before, like shout out to my friend, because she was like always at my back asking me every 2 weeks, what's the next stage, if you're not someone that have a friend that has done it, it's not going to be easy. So don't worry, take me as your friend today and let's see how we help each other. Thank you and bye.